Welcome to the Waste of Web Space, Waste of Time podcast. Come with us to a year gone by to find out what was going on in the world of news, politics, entertainment, sport, and technology. More importantly, what stupid things happened that you've probably forgotten all about, or didn't even know about to begin with. How far back will our homemade time machine take us? Who knows? But its MOT runs out soon and the tax on the bloody thing's extortionate. Not to mention the clean air zones around our city centres now. Welcome to the Waste of Web Space, Waste of Time. Hello, yes, welcome to another Waste of Time episode. Welcome to Waste of Web Space, Waste of Time podcast.
Starring
Jimbo
and Fisher.
There we go. How's it going? All good?
Yeah, good, thank you. To be fair, we've barely spoken actually since the last podcast, have we?
We haven't. We fell out, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I mean, hey, you can't fall out if we weren't friends in the first place.
That's it, yeah.
I think this is, obviously, for audio listeners, you wouldn't understand that we are also streaming this live. And you know what I don't think's fair, Jimbo?
What?
That you're appearing on this screen twice, because I can see I can see you, and then I can see me. I can see your reflection in between the two of us.
You could sit in front of that, and if you've got a shiny enough head, it might even appear on your head.
Oh, good point. Yeah, you'd be superimposing yourself on me. So we're in Jimbo's pub shed as we are. Ailing up, but I don't want to say Ailing audio. I don't want to have to promote your other podcast.
I do have a Waste of Web Space one of them, don't I? On the vehicle, the pump clip.
Pump clip, you do, yes.
I should have probably changed it.
Yeah. Do you ever put the Waste of Web Space pump clip on when you're recording the Ailing audio podcast, Jimbo?
I don't.
Oh.
I rarely. I forget to change it anyway. Yeah. So
you forget you're even on the Waste of Web Space podcast at times. But yeah,
I'm all ready for today, yep. And I've got the time machine oiled up.
Yep.
Give it a quick service earlier. We ended up in 1980, didn't we? Which
we did.
Isn't ideal.
Yeah.
Because it was quite hard, weren't it, to go back in time to this particular year for various reasons.
Yep. You have to put some extra oil in there because we're going back a little bit further.
Yeah, I've got my leg warmers on.
Yep. You put a bit of 3-in-1 oil on it, which I know some people are going to say, "Is that a porn film from Barnsley?" But I rest assured you, 3-in-1 oil isn't. I know. Sorry.
Filth.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what's been going on recently, though?
We can do. I mean, I think we got the wrong. We've not quite got the right. Oh,
no.
You're looking at the slides there, right, in Jimbo. We're ready and ready to go back in the time machine. Let's talk about what's happening now. And what's the major story? 2023 is a happening place. We're on the move. We're changing. The main story at the moment is the post office.
Yeah.
And their IT system.
The only thing, I mean, I have kind of seen bits of it in the news over the years, but obviously a lot more recently, and particularly because of the drama that's been made, which is really good. I'm kind of midway through it, and it's shocking, really, to see what's happened. Really shocking. But yeah, amazing that all that could happen to such a big organisation can oversee such negligence and hurt to so many people, so many innocent people as well.
Well, yeah, but that's the government for you. But also the post office made a right hash of it as well.
Yeah.
So I suppose what intrigues me about the whole situation is a mark of society, not sort of how you treat the worse off people as opposed to the better off in life. We kind of convict. I mean, it doesn't say much for our criminal justice system either, does it? That there wasn't really much evidence other than the computer system saying that this was the case. There was, to the best of my knowledge, no evidence ever found of any money actually physically being taken. They can't have recovered tens of thousands of pounds for people because it simply wasn't stolen in the first place. Now, if I accused you of, for example, stealing my Rubik's Cube because I can't find it, or for example, if I accused, well, that's your Rubik's Cube, not mine. Or for example, if I accused you of stealing my cufflinks.
I have got your cufflinks.
Exactly.
Somewhere.
You've got them somewhere.
And I've got them. You can have them tonight.
And my Stewie Griffin rock.
Yes.
And possibly a cricket ball. I don't know. At least when you find them, I will be able to say you have got them because you've got them. Not you've got it, but we don't know where it is. I mean, maybe they thought the postmasters in their sort of these people in their army of cardigans and perhaps they thought that they were living some kind of lavish lifestyle, in spite of the fact there was no evidence that presumably people went on, excessive holidays or went and bought sort of an expensive car or moved house without, I'm assuming there was no particular indication that these people were kind of living outside the means of what they should be earning.
What I did like, because obviously I was watching been watching the drama, which is where I'm learning more about it. But I was watching it, and there's a bit where they go to sit in front of MPs, I think, in some sort of like inquiry sort of thing, and Zahawi, I can't remember, I can never remember his first name.
Nadeem
Zahawi, that's it. Yeah. Zahawi, that's it. He's on it.
He is.
He's playing himself.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he actually seems like quite a nice. He seems like he's on the right side of things in this particular program. So I'm not surprised he took that role so he could make himself look good, shouting at the post office managers and stuff like that.
They said we want someone to play an obnoxious Tory prick. He said, "Yeah, I'll do that." Yeah.
Well, I'm looking. So he took this role because it's made him look quite good. But I'm looking forward to future roles where he plays himself in the next film, where he's talking about how he funded his stables and the electricity to his stables and so on with taxpayers' money and all that. I'm looking forward to that next production where he also plays himself.
Well, he's got a massive beef with the post office, hasn't he? Because if you remember, he posted his tax bill through to them and they never received it. So clear fault in the post, which is why why he dislikes them. Why he's on the side of the postmasters. I think I'm pleased for all those postmasters who actually did steal money. Because they've now just been exonerated, haven't they? We're not gone back and sort of checked. We haven't said to them, look, actually, did you do it?
There's some postmasters out there who are probably thinking, I've got away with this.
Yeah.
How fortunate is that?
If only I could have stolen more. So yeah, I suspect, unfortunately, there probably is some people who've been quite correctly accused.
Your dad didn't have this kind of issue at Schweppes, did he?
No, he didn't steal all the lemonade or anything like that. So that's unfortunately a major news story at the moment.
But speaking of somebody, we've just been speaking about Zahawi, who plays himself in someone else who likes to play themselves in films, but just in general. Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I ain't got my soundboard broke. I need to find that old sound. Got to mention for a few years, has he? He's poor. He used to be top of the bill at this podcast, didn't he, Donald Trump? He gave us years of material.
Him and John Terry. I mean, obviously, big difference between the two because one of them's a massive racist. Who's sorry. So that's slightly offensive to both Trump and John Terry, I suppose. But there we go. But I suppose they've both been accused of that in the past. But not by me or you.
I think we have talked about it a fair few times.
Yeah, we might have brushed around that particular subject. He used to be president. And now he might be president again.
He might be.
Do you know the only person to have ceased being president? I think when we talk about presidents of America, there is a list and everyone's given a number. However, there is one person who's had 2 presidential numbers. He was president, stopped being president, and was president again. Do you know who that was?
I wanted to say Truman.
Not Truman.
Oh, no. I don't know.
I think it was Grover Cleveland.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know whether or not he is the only person to have ever done 2 terms split up by someone else, but I believe he's the only person who's got 2.
Was that a long time ago
numbers.
As well?
Yeah. You're talking, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
No, I don't know when Grover Cleveland was there. I think you're probably a good 100, 200 years ago.
We're talking about when we've not gone back to 1980 just yet.
Not yet.
We'll be doing that soon,
and it will be well in excess of 1980. But as I say, he might be coming back. The slightly strange thing is, I'm right in saying he's been banned from running in certain states.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly.
But obviously they're doing the various kind of vote for your candidate. But say it looks like Trump is a front runner. We're going to talk, I think, about the 1980 presidential election, I think, during the course of the podcast. So there might be a few references to the age of the candidates, which, do you know how old Biden is?
I don't.
Do you want to have a guess?
Is he 70 something?
No, he's in his I think he's 81. 81.
My grand's 86, and
she fancy being president?
I don't.
Too young. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine being 81 years old? I mean, I know we sometimes feel like we are, but would you want to be doing probably one of the most important jobs in the world at the age of 81? Bear in mind, if he wins, I think he will end up being potentially 86 years old when he is finishing being president. Or it might be a bit shorter because he might just die instead. But that's a very old age. Obviously, Obama is the youngest president still alive. Do you know the second youngest president is? Who's still alive?
It won't be someone like Clinton, will it?
Will Clinton.
Yeah.
And he lost the election. He stood down in 2001. So we're talking 24 years ago.
Mm.
And after that, only people older than him have been president other than Obama.
Well,
so that's kind of just a bit weird, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how old's Rishi Sunak is in his 40s, isn't he? I think Keir Starmer might also be in his 40s, maybe early 50s. I don't know. He's got a lot of grey hair.
Do we think people are getting younger or old? I mean, obviously, in the case
I think,
of America,
I think generally speaking, people are getting older.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Well, yeah, people getting older because time makes people get older. But sorry, what were we actually going to say?
Because I'm just thinking how old was like so much as Blair and Thatcher when they got their jobs and as PMs and stuff.
Blair was probably about 43 when Tony Blair was elected,
and he was considered quite young. He was considered quite young at the time, though, weren't he? I think.
Yeah. Should we try and do a? Should we try and use a bit of technology? Should we? should we use?
We could just go to 1980, which is what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and see. Well, we go to 1980. We've been using a bit of artificial intelligence to make up for our own lack of it. Shall I go on to ChatGPT and say how old was Tony Blair when he was made Prime Minister?
You can do, but
we'll do that
I'm finding that a lot of this AI is very inaccurate.
Yeah.
As the first episodes we did this, where we reported Michael Jackson had died
when he hadn't
died. He has obviously actually died. But anyway,
interestingly, sorry, on terms of how useless is the artificial intelligence that we've got, I literally typed in the words famous people born in 1980. And it came up with Channing Tatum, born in 1980, Jessica Simpson, born in 1980, Kim Kardashian, born in 1980, Ryan Gosling.
You're doing my bits. I'm supposed to be doing entertainment.
Oh, yeah. Well, then it said Serena Williams, born in 1981. Manny Pacquiao, born in 1978. And it says, although technically born in 1978, the Filipino boxer and politician Manny Pacquiao's career and fame continued well into the 1980s. Now, I don't think his fame and career continued in the 1980s.
It was two.
Well, it was 2 in 1980, but even if you take the decade, it was 12 at the end of the decade.
True.
Don't think he had much of a boxing career back in those days.
No.
So I wasn't overly thrilled with it.
Can we do? Have you got a show and tell? Is there anything you want to do for show and tell?
I haven't on this occasion. Have you?
I do have a show and tell.
Go for it.
Okay.
Show it and tell it.
So my two possible stories are the one common running theme is that I got a knock on the door from my neighbour the other day, and in story number one, I opened the door to my neighbour, and they gave me some money and said, "Is this yours?" and gave me 20 quid.
Yep.
Story number two is they knocked on my door and they said, "Is this yours?" and they were holding up a bunny rabbit.
Oh, okay. So, am I right in thinking that your next door neighbour is a postmaster who'd stolen £20 out of the till and wanted to offload it onto you? Is that right?
No.
No. Okay. So I suppose my question is, was it your £20 note?
If it's the story, then I think it was. Yes.
Okay. So, well, did you accept it then?
I did accept it. I accepted it and said, "I will bring this back if I don't believe this is mine."
Yeah. And have you still got it then? Have you take it? You haven't returned it.
Obviously, I've still got it. Yeah.
Well, obviously, you might have spent it, but yeah. Well, no.
If it's that story.
Yeah, you haven't given it back. You've kept hold of it. You've kept your.
I pocketed it, Fisher.
Yeah, you've kept your scheming little hands on there with your.
Yeah.
Going out and
I did think about not telling the missus.
Yeah,
that was 20 quid up.
Get in. Don't put in a joint account or anything like that. What if you do? Keep hold of it. Yeah. So. Best thing is to spend it straight away. Put it into the beer fund and convert it into something else. No one will ever know. That's
money laundering, basically, isn't it?
No, that's when you put it through a washing machine. But if you,
I've done that a few times.
Well, yeah. So is that how they found it? You'd left £20 in your pocket and it sort of blew off from the washing line and it landed in their garden. Where did they find it?
It was found on the front.
Okay.
My bin had tipped over in the wind.
Well, as everyone's been as this week.
Well, it's funny because the stormiest day of the year, and we've had a stormy year, but I think yesterday was the stormiest day of the year, certainly in the morning, just happened to fall on our blue bin day, which you live round here, don't you, Fisher? What is the blue bin round here?
Blue bin are paper and cardboard.
It couldn't have been anything worse, really, could you?
Yep. To be fair, it was bottles and cans for us, brown bins. So we were
was
kind
it?
of
Oh,
So
yeah, right. So you had just like rolling stuff everywhere. And...
yeah. So basically, I spent all Tuesday night like listening. We're trying to go to sleep and just hear people's bins getting blown over and bottles and cans being blown around the street. Great fun. I'm sure you had the same on. At least the paper and cardboard's probably a bit
It's
quieter.
quiet, but it just goes a lot further.
Yeah. So the good news is obviously it's 2 weeks till our blue bin, and I've got all your stuff that I can chuck in mine. So all good.
That's it.
So yeah, did you? So what was your bin tactic then? Did you put it out and leave it, or did you?
I just put it out. I left. I didn't put it out until the morning. I thought it was secure.
Yeah.
And it clearly wasn't. It blew over.
Okay.
Resulting in a lot of my paper waste and cardboard blowing everywhere.
But possibly earned you 20 quid.
Yes.
If that's true. So, obviously that's not true because your magician is your magician. Oh, ruined that, Anna. Your next door neighbour is a magician, and they turned up with a hat and pulled a rabbit out of it.
Yeah.
Why did they have a rabbit?
Well, you know I've got rabbits, don't you?
I do. I'm very sorry to hear it. If you get yourself down to the doctors, then you'll be. They can sort it out for you. So you've got rabbits.
I've got rabbits. Yeah.
Would you like to elaborate any further?
Well, they turned up, knocked on the door, and they had a rabbit in their hands.
Did they just have one or both?
Neither.
Oh, so they had someone else's rabbit.
It wasn't my rabbit.
Oh, right, okay. Had someone put that in the blue bin and it had blown away, or not? Hopefully not. Yeah, hopefully
no
not.
idea. I think it turned out to be somebody else's.
Well, I'm assuming so. Yes.
I said I don't want any more of them.
Yeah.
I've got enough trouble with two I've got.
And I think they might be breeding because they're at it like rabbits.
Yeah.
So, what did the rabbit look like?
It was black.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
And did someone try to deport it or send it to Rwanda or anything like that? Oh, sorry, I said, yeah, no, that's totally unfair.
Poor taste.
Yeah.
Poor taste.
Of
course, she was sort of aiming a swipe at our government there. Though.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yes. Not my own personal views. I hasten to add.
Definitely not mine.
Yeah, absolutely. So? What did you say? What was the?
I said that is not my rabbit.
And they said, "Okay, I will go knock on someone else's."
Yes.
Not Jimbo. Not Jimbo's. You just wrote in the words. Not Jimbo's use.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Did you feel like you had some kind of responsibility towards rehoming the rabbit?
I said it's a nice rabbit, but it's not mine. I'm sure it's it must be someone's locals. I've not seen it before. I said, but if you need somewhere to keep it, I can see what I can do, and if I can try and I've got rabbit food or anything like that. I offered help.
You did your
responsible
bit in the community.
I did.
But obviously it wasn't yours, so you can't
take a rabbit that's not mine.
Exactly. I mean, think of what if it didn't get on with your rabbits? Or
exactly, yeah.
Rabbits friendly to each other?
I don't think they're keen on each other if they don't know each other.
Do you reckon rabbits are the third most popular?
And my rabbits are undone.
What? Sorry,
they're both not.
Oh, right. So they can still.
They could have babies.
Yeah,
and we'd actually have the babies as well.
Well,
it's not like we don't have no responsibility. They'd be here.
Yeah. Presumably one of them can have babies. The other one is doing another part of it. Yeah.
No, they're both women. So it could in fact have lots.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So right. So if you put a stud in there,
yeah, exactly.
You might be running your own.
For us, yeah.
You might be running your own rabbit farm.
Yeah.
Do you think rabbits are the third most popular pet in the country? Would you reckon?
I'd probably say so. I imagine. Yeah.
Obviously, kind of cats, dogs.
Yeah.
Then presumably rabbits, but I don't know. You can't take rabbits out, can you?
No.
So it's probably time to decide, isn't it? Did someone say, "Is this £20 note yours?" and you took it off him and pocketed it, or her? Sorry.
Or did someone bring a rabbit to the door that wasn't mine?
And you didn't take it.
Despite my rabbits usually always escape, so
on the one occasion it wasn't them.
So you'd have thought they might have known that weren't my rabbit because my rabbits have been seen quite often.
Yeah. I'm going to say that someone said, "Is this your rabbit?"
And you would be wrong. They did bring me 20 quid, two £10 notes.
Oh, okay.
And it turned out it was in a Christmas card that I had not properly finished Well, I'd opened it, but
Yeah.
it was like one of those envelope things with money in it, and it wasn't. I believe it was probably one of Ada's.
Yeah.
And you know what kids are like, they open things and shove it down, and I probably just put a pile of old cards, picked it up and binned it. So yeah, but that meant obviously I was rifling through the rest of the bin thinking, have I done that with every single, have I picked up a pile of cards like that and shoved it in the bin? So and the bin lorry was a pro, I could hear it in the distance. So I was trying to get through the bin and trying to sort out it all, you know, in the end, no more cash was found.
Yeah.
But it must have been mine because mine was the only bin that had blown over at that point. So there we go.
So you found £20, but
the neighbour. So thank you to the neighbour.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. You found £20, but on the flip side, you just ended up looking like a man sifting through rubbish in the wind.
Yeah.
So,
at least it was the paper bin.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
Well, at least you effectively recycle, even if it's money.
Are we ready to go to the year?
We are, yes.
1980.
1980.
Right, let's calibrate our time machine, shall we? Here we go. I'm quite relieved that came up with 1980 because if it didn't, we'd have been in a bit of a pickle, wouldn't we? But anyway, but yeah, 1980. So just a rundown of things that happened this year. Ronald Reagan won the US election to later become the 40th president of the United States. Because they win the election, they don't actually become a president, do they, till kind of later on, do they? But the election was won in the year 1980 and he officially became president in 1981. John Lennon was sadly assassinated by Mark David Chapman. So that was probably the biggest news story of the year, really. Mount St. Helens volcano in Washington State erupts, leading to lots of destruction and loss of lives, and people's blue winds tipped over and everything. The Moscow Summer. This is something that the AI stuff really tried to mess us up with. So Moscow Summer Olympics happened, but it also told me that the Seoul 1980 Olympics also took place the same year. So
that was in 1988. It's a slight problem. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, it was the Moscow Summer Olympics, but there was a lot of boycotting because of protests at Russia invading Afghanistan.
Well, fortunately, Russia behave themselves nowadays, which is good. They don't invade other countries.
Yeah, we don't do things like invading Afghanistan either, do we? So.
Yeah. Obviously, also in 1980, my dad's blue bin blew over, and someone knocked on the door saying, "Is these your 10 shillings that we found on the floor?" Obviously, that's not true because it was decimalisation. I think it was 1971, wasn't it? But I've just checked, by the way. How old did I say Tony Blair was? What was my guess? I think I said it was.
I think you said 43 when he was prime minister.
I think I said about 43, 45, something like that. It was 44.
All right, okay. So is Sunak officially the youngest one we've had starting the job or not?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't check that.
Okay.
I don't know how old he is either, so I didn't put that into ChatGPT.
Okay.
So that's the news stories from then. I dare say that trying to go back this far in time is actually you don't find much out about sort of
like
the more light-hearted stuff. Yeah.
There must be like that. I mean, news these days, there's so many people reporting news that they pick up on some very odd stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
So we're back in 1980 outside. There's all sorts going on. I mean, you know, there's people wandering about.
Dancing. You don't get this nowadays, do you? People wandering about.
Yeah. People just keep the doors unlocked, don't they, and all that kind of thing.
What was the fashion? Well,
we haven't been born, have we? We couldn't even bump into ourselves in 1980.
We don't know what it was like. What I do know is what footwear people used to wear. Espadrilles were one of them, and I know this because I typed into ChatGPT 1980s scandals. I thought I had, but I didn't. I typed in 1980s scandals. Sorry, sandals. Yeah, and that's what it came up here. It was like looking at it. It's got all the sort of footwear. I'm thinking, what was the scandal? Oh, separate sandals. Yeah. That's kind of part of the fashion that people used to wear. I think, are you going to run through the entertainment side of it? Or?
There is, but you're going to do politics first.
Oh, am I? Right, well.
Here we go.
So Mrs. Thatcher was Prime Minister. She came in 79, still there in 1980. That was a big news at the time. She was on there for 10, 11 years.
She really started causing havoc at this stage, didn't she? I think there's things that I don't know if it was around 1980 that she reformed like the steelworks, started to reform the steelworks and stuff like that as well, weren't it? I think
She didn't reform them; she pretty closed them down.
Well, I think
she
started it in the 1980s with view to going forwards, didn't she? I think in 1980, I think it was. Anyway,
well, I don't think she had a reputation doing a huge amount for British industry.
No, I didn't mean it like that. She tried to. Yeah, I didn't mean it as in she reformed it in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm saying she started the process of dismantle it. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Michael Foot was the leader of the Labour Party.
Have you wrote sandalism again here?
Yeah. Well, it was a notable socialist, wasn't he? So he was nicknamed Michael Leftfoot. So that's not bad.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
Right, yeah. Ronald Reagan, as we've mentioned, he got elected as Prime Minister, as President of America. Do you know who he went up against? Who he beat? He beat the incumbent. The person he beat actually only had one term, I think, possibly. I will double check that.
I can't remember, but I did. Yeah, I did. I remember seeing it earlier when I was looking at this, but I can't remember.
The person who he beat was actually, I better check to make sure that's not one of the questions that I've asked.
We're well prepared here on the
no, it isn't.
Time.
It isn't one of the questions that I've asked.
Okay.
He beat the oldest living president.
Right.
No, not Joe Biden. He beat Jimmy Carter. I think he's 99 years old.
Oh, so he's alive now.
He's still alive.
Carter, right.
Jimmy Carter is still alive at the age of 99.
Okay.
Which I think he was born the same year as George Bush Senior. I think.
Right. Okay.
Well, I could be wrong on that. I don't know for certain. So yeah, that was a big story on the other side of the pond, and I think he served 8 years. I think there was a bit of generally a reasonable relationship between Mrs. Thatcher and Ronald Reagan. Is that fair to say? I think was probably the general gist of it.
I wasn't here. That's why we're back in 1980. You're supposed to tell me this.
Well, you must have seen the news.
Should we look outside and ask someone?
Yeah, well, they're too busy wandering around, aren't they? So yeah, that was that side of it as well. Yeah, politics was an ever-changing environment. I couldn't find much in the way of scandals, which is
because they're all covered up in the 80s.
Maybe, yeah.
They went Twitter and stuff then, were they?
Yeah,
or X.
I mean, it's a surprise that there weren't many scandals now because we did have a Tory government, so
yeah,
it does make it more likely. But I have got some questions. So, who was the leader of the Liberal Democrats in 1980? Was it David Owen, or they didn't exist?
I reckon they are a fairly new party. So I reckon maybe they didn't exist, or at least not in the same way. They were maybe called something else. I think maybe, and I'm only getting my knowledge of this from old dramas and like stuff like The Crown and stuff like that. I don't think they existed.
Okay, and you'll be correct. Well done. Yeah, so...
Was there a third party then, do you know? Who was the sort of third?
There was a third party, yeah. I mean, they weren't insured if you crashed into someone, unfortunately, the third party. So...
Just fire and theft.
Yeah. So, the only policies they had. Yeah. So, have you insured a car recently, by any chance? Not in 2023, not in 2024, rather.
Yes, I have, yes.
Has it shot up in price? Have you found that as well?
I didn't really find that, but I did change vehicles. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw that three-wheeler you got on the yeah, of course.
Wait, it's one wheel less, so I don't have to insure that fourth wheel, do I? So
you've been going around the wheelie bin. That's why you emptied it out on the floor for yesterday. So it didn't exist. David Owen was the leader of the Liberal Party. However, they merged with the Social Democrat Party to form the Liberal Democrats, and that was founded in 1988.
I thought it was. I thought it was something like that. Right, there we go.
Well done. David Steele was leader of the Liberals at Liberal Party at the time
until Margaret Thatcher shut him down.
Yes. Yeah. Where was Maggie Thatcher the MP for? Was it Finchley, which is near the McDonald's UK head office? Or Boreham Wood, which is near Pizza Hut's UK head office?
I think it's Finchley.
Finchley? You'd be right. Well done.
They had 2 out of 2 on politics.
2 out of 2. Well done. Did you know that? Or did you just guess?
I think, I think I get it from The Crown, maybe. And I think I might have looked at that before in the past, just out of interest and stuff. And
quite sure why she was... Sorry.
Yeah, was it not actually attached? Because a lot of the days, these days, they just put people places and, rather than actually them be from that area quite often, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're quite lucky because our MP is from the local area, so what a wonderful local MP we've got. Who's currently being investigated, I think, by the Parliamentary Standards Committee.
And she's trying to take mobile phones off kids at the minute, isn't she? And say they're not allowed them until they're 16 and not allowed them social media and all that kind of stuff they could be learning while they're young to live with because it's part of the world.
Yeah.
She wants them not to have it from, but anyway.
Yeah, I've heard
might be a little bit old-fashioned with the sound of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she voted against the government's Rwanda bill because she didn't think it was strong enough. Is my understanding of it.
Oh, she voted against it?
Yeah, I think there's seven or eight Tory rebels who voted against it.
Yeah, she's just looking for the next job, though, isn't she?
Well, I think she voted against it. Lee Anderson, 30p Lee, he voted against it. So she's in good company. I mean, yeah. Obviously, what with immigration and small boats being such a massive issue around here, I mean, you can't move for the amount of sort of boats that are coming into the Chapeltown area, can you? But there we go. So, and then finally, a big sort of issue at the time is that there were issues in Northern Ireland and there were hunger strikes at HMP Maze in Northern Ireland. Why was the prison called HMP Maze? Is it was in a place that's called Maze, or is it the prison had loads of twists and turns and it was like a maze?
I immediately before you read the answers thought, it must be like a maze because you do see that prisons can be like that, especially the big old buildings and stuff like that.
Makes it difficult to escape.
But but I don't think that's a useful kind of prison to have because it's also easy to hide and for the guards to get lost in it. So I think I was tempted to go for that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say it's in a place called Maze.
And Jimbo, 3 out of 3, you're right.
I don't think that's ever happened before.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that there's a hunger strike at the place that is named after a type of cereal and crop? Yeah, obviously spelled differently. But,
very true.
Yeah, I suppose being a maze isn't actually ideal. As I say, you try and escape, but you just keep hitting a dead end. Oh, I've got to go back. Hang on, we need to just go back that way, then round and then through that. And you ever been in a maze? Been at Wayne Wentworth?
I have, yeah. They kind of frustrate me a little bit. They're not as people think. I don't know what the fun is about them. I don't like being lost anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. Same as snow. I don't like snow. Everyone wants snow. I don't like snow. Anyway, that's unrelated.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
You're a fan of global warming to try and to eradicate snow. Last time it's more climate change. That's why we've got a lot more wind.
Exactly. It's calm as out there.
Yeah.
Atmosphere's lovely out there.
Right.
There's a lot more fumes because obviously they didn't have as smarter cars back then. But
yeah,
it's 1980. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I'd nod it.
Okay, so it is 1980, and now we're going to look at entertainment. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. So, doing this on the roll this time, I didn't have a chance to make it. So, John Lennon, obviously, sadly, his untimely death came in 1980 when he was shot by Mark David Chapman or David Mark Chapman. I can never remember which way around it was.
I think it was more common than that was Mark Chapman.
He keeps going for parole as well, doesn't he? But
John Lennon, guy's been shot. He was shot 44 years ago.
Can you imagine? No, but I'm on about Mark David Chapman or David Mark Chapman. He keeps going for parole. I think his next one is due next month, but every time he goes for it, obviously they say no because, well, he wouldn't be very. I don't think he'd do very well on the outside, considering he killed John Lennon, would he? So,
well, you never know. I mean, time might change. He might be a changed man.
It might be, but I don't think he'd be very safe, would he, on the outside? Is what I'm saying.
I don't know. Maybe should give
probably his own safety.
I think you should give Peace a chance, Jimbo.
Oh, very good. Right, Empire Strikes Back, the second in the Star Wars films, but I think it's like number.
Yeah.
Hold on, 4. What? No.
5.
5. Number 5 in the actual timeline.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's when, spoiler alerts for anyone who hasn't watched it before, but Luke Skywalker gets his hand chopped off by his dad.
That's not very nice.
And I think that's when he learns his dad as well.
All right.
There we go.
It's a bit mean, isn't it?
I'm your father and all that.
Is that the Saudi Arabian, stealing things special that they were doing? Or?
Next, some TV you might remember, or probably not because we weren't there. Heidi High.
Yeah. Well, I'm aware of that. Yeah.
Tom Baker.
In Doctor
Who at the time. He was coming up to his final years in Doctor Who, but he was still Doctor at the time.
Yeah.
And the big thing for TV, not so much in the UK, but it was kind of a bit of a sort of, I don't know, it became a thing across the world, didn't it? Like, who shot JR?
Yeah, Mark David Chapman after he shot John Lennon, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was basically the thing that started off all the whodunits, weren't it?
Yeah. Phil Mitchell.
Yeah, we had the Phil Mitchell one like years down the line, didn't we? So, yeah. Obviously, you can hear Back in Black in the background there. That's because AC/DC released that album.
Yep.
Very iconic album. And also Queen released the album The Game. And that album had songs like Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Another One Bites the Dust, all that kind of stuff on it as well. And this is awful because you can't see it, so I'll have to load up a different version for Fisher to see. That's not worked very well, but Fisher.
Yep.
I'm going to mute now, or turn that music down in the background,
Yep.
because I've got a game for you here.
Right.
It's the game of 2 words, guess the person.
Right.
And these people were born in this year, so you've had a bit of a sneak peek at this
probably
already.
I'm not
so
up to that there, but yeah.
Your first one, read it out and then tell us who you think it is.
Yeah, so first one says Home Alone. So I think we've already mentioned him earlier on, Donald Trump.
Hey!
No, so I would have thought it will be Macaulay Culkin.
You are leaving suspense.
Yeah.
You are. Hold on, I'll leave in more suspense. But you are correct. Well done.
Did we talk previously on a podcast about Macaulay Culkin's middle name?
Is it Macaulay?
No, it's Macaulay Culkin.
Oh.
I think.
It's called Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin.
No, it's called Macaulay Culkin. I think I might have made that up, but
Right.
I think that's right. I mean,
He dreamt it.
well, again,
Get on with the quiz.
yeah. You asked
You can look
when
at
we
that
do
in
the
a
next
minute.
thing. We'll have a check of it.
Which way are you going? You're going down. There's 80. Do you think you can get them all?
We'll go across
Yeah.
in sort of like we're reading it on a page. Next one is Genie Bottle.
Yeah.
To which I would have guessed it is Christina Aguilera. She sang Genie in a Bottle, debut song in...
Correct.
A debut song probably in 1999.
Was it that long ago?
I would guess at that.
I'd have said later, but anyway.
You might be sneaking into 2000. No, maybe even 98. I think quite a while ago when Britney came out sometime, didn't she? Hasn't had a UK single for ages. She doesn't
Don't
do
think so.
anything
She
anymore.
jumps on other people's songs now, doesn't she?
Yeah, she doesn't do much. Full Kit. I think another one we've possibly mentioned. And I would have thought probably John Terry.
John Terry. I think, in terms of appearances and caps, I think it's between him and Donald Trump, isn't it, who've got most caps on this podcast.
Yeah.
And, not just on the podcast, but in our whole waste of web space YouTube broadcasting career.
Yeah.
If you can call it a career.
Yeah.
Next one across. So that were Full Kit. Speaking of John Terry, guess who else is also, awkwardly, guess who else also was born in 1980?
Wayne Bridge?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't know. I didn't know what to do for him.
Yeah.
So.
Embarrassed footballer.
Yeah.
Or humiliated. Yeah. Sorry. I've just Googled Macaulay Culkin middle name and it says his middle name is Macaulay Culkin, so his name is Macaulay Culkin. Born Macaulay Carlson Culkin, but he then changed his name at a later date.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Anyway,
there we go.
he wasn't damaged at all by fame.
And you thought being called Richie Rich was sort of bad enough, yeah. So Tennis Sister. Now,
Tennis Sister. Let 1 second. Let me sort this out. So right, okay. You'll be able to see us now, right? Because we can't see people can't see them anyway. So
right, okay.
I'll put these right. You can get Tennis Sister then.
Tennis Sister. So it says Tennis Sister twice there, by the way. I don't know if you...
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Oh well, you can get them both.
That's twins.
They're not twins, are they?
They're not twins,
No.
but there's Venus and Serena Williams.
Yeah.
I don't know which is the. Venus is the older one, Serena is the younger one. I wonder whether or not Venus Williams was born in 1980.
It's Serena.
Is it Serena?
Yeah, you said you looked at it earlier.
Yeah, but I wasn't paying attention.
But it wasn't 81. It was 80. I checked.
Right.
It is 1980. So yeah. Next one then.
F1 2018. Now, unfortunately, this requires to have some form of knowledge of Formula One, which very much rules me out. 2018. Now, I think 2018 is that the person who won the championship in 2018?
Could be.
Could be. To which I'm going to go through all the Formula One drivers that I know of recent times. So, is it Lewis Hamilton?
No.
Is it Max Verstappen?
No.
Well, I don't know who it is then. I don't know. So maybe someone who's in the 40s now.
I was going to put
20.
I was going to put F1 Zip. as an alternative
Zip.
type of fastening device.
Oh, okay. That would help me if I knew any Formula One drivers. So let's think. Fastening devices. Jensen Button.
Yay! Well done, Jensen Button.
Did he win in 28? Is 2018?
He won.
Did he win more than once then?
He won in 2009,
Right.
and then he won in 2018.
So 2009 when he was with Braun G.
I think yes, yeah. And I think he retired, didn't he? Not long after that.
I remember him winning first time round, which is why I didn't think it was 2018 for him. But there we go.
Next one,
boxer maker. So this is someone who is involved in flat pack cardboard boxes. I would have thought boxer maker probably relates to the kind of meme favourite of Eddie Hearn.
No.
Are we talking about
a difficult one? This is a difficult one.
Are we talking about a promoter or an actual? Are we talking
boxer?
About boxer? By boxer, I presume we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, maker. So right, okay. So I think trying to find this was like trying to find a hay in a needle stack. I'm going to say the Thruppelmeister himself, David Hay.
So I was going to put that, but I didn't know if you'd know that about his his interesting lifestyle.
Yeah,
can't fault him.
He's got two women on the go, and they're both aware of it. Man, you pretty hell.
You struggle to deal with one though, don't you? So
poor fella.
Last one.
Owns cats. Oh, well, obviously there's a lot of people that own cats. Myself included. Well,
exactly. So would I have chosen that? Because I've chose that for a reason.
It's got to be someone who's well known for owning a cat,
or maybe not,
or
maybe it sounds like they do.
Well, owns a cat. Well, you have mentioned the age of one particular person, and we know that Larry the cat from Downing Street. So is it Rishi Sunak? Did Larry the cat go with one of the prime ministers?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not him though.
Owns cats. So is there some cat owner cat? Qatar, cat owner. Kerry Katona.
Hey, Kerry Katona. There you go. So there you go. That was that game.
Why did you put Atomic Kitten?
Because it would have been boring.
Which would have been similar to Owns Cats, I suppose.
It would have been boring. Yeah. It would have been boring. What are we on now? Right, okay. So I've got quiz questions for you then as well. Okay, because that was a kind of a last minute thing I thought up to do. But anyway, let's get you some questions. So this is from the world of entertainment and things like that. So let me find it for you. Where are we? Right, here we go. Your entertainment questions are these. Number one, there's only two. Which of these people made their first appearance on TV in 1980? Was it Donald Trump or was it Oprah Winfrey?
It's Donald Trump. 1980. Why would Trump actually appear on TV? I mean, he's not.
Well, don't forget he's initially a business person, isn't he? That's what he was. He was a property tycoon or whatever he was, a stock exchanger. I don't know what he was. He was something, weren't he?
Well, as I say, why would he appear on TV? Because business people tend not to, unless they're, for example, explaining why they
had a lot of money,
got involved in dodgy PPE contracts, like some famous British business people. Oprah Winfrey obviously has been on the Oprah show for a long time. How old's Oprah Winfrey? Late 60s, early 70s now, maybe. She might be younger than that, actually. I wonder if it might be Oprah. She might have appeared first up in 1980.
Wrong. It's Donald Trump. He was on telly in America, obviously. 33 years old, and he was talking to somebody, like a TV host, about, he'd got so much money, and, this host was asking what you want to do with it and all that kind of thing, and that sort of thing. So, there you go. So that was Donald Trump. And I think you can find that. There might be clips of it and stuff like that if you really want to watch it.
Would you want to?
Yeah. Which famous person claimed to be the second person after John Lennon on Mark David Chapman's kill list? Was it either A, Christopher Walken, B, Marvin Gaye, or C, David Bowie?
Oh. The annoying thing is, I think I've heard this before. Do we know if is it just they claimed it, or is there actually anything to corroborate this?
There was, the killer has spoke about who else he did, want to, kill, basically. So,
I want to say that I think it was Marvin Gaye, but I might have just heard that through the grapevine.
Hey.
That was one of his songs, wasn't it? I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna say Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye. It wasn't Marvin Gaye. There was interest. Well, kind of interest. It's obviously again tragic, but Marvin Gaye met a pretty bad end as well, didn't he? I don't know if you know what happened to him. I think his own dad killed him.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So that was Marvin Gaye, and that's there's no joke in that.
Oh, okay.
I think you expected the one, but that's true. No, it's not. It's the answer is actually David Bowie, and I think a few days after the shooting, obviously the death of John Lennon, I think John Lennon and Yoko were supposed to have seats at the front of this gig, concert, or whatever, to see David Bowie, and then David Bowie had to go out and perform, and obviously see the empty seats and stuff like that. So I think it was quite a tough time for people at that point, particularly people like that who, you know. Anyway, so next then, that's all your entertainment questions. Yeah. So there we go.
So that was 0 out of 2 for me. Thank you very much.
So I think I'm winning today.
Yeah.
Right. Sport time.
Sport time. So a fair amounts of stuff going on. Oh, we're talking over the music. Talking over the music.
Like professional.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah. You know I'll never be professional at this sort of stuff. So in tennis, John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg had a massive rivalry. I think McEnroe won at Wimbledon and Bjorn Borg won at the US Open when they met the final. Or it might be the way around. No one's going to check it. They had a huge rivalry. Bjorn Borg says, I'm going to create boxer shorts better than you will. And McEnroe said, you cannot be serious. He does do boxer shorts now, doesn't Bjorn Borg?
I don't know.
Do you not? Yeah.
No idea.
Type in Bjorn Borg underwear into Google and see what comes up.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. Can't believe you might fall for that.
I might just see his underwear, not actually the underwear he designs or anything. But anyway.
I can't imagine why you would not want to see a 60-year-old man in underwear. So the West Indies were the dominant force in cricket.
Oh, of course, he's got cricket in there.
They went, I think like 15 years from about 1980 onwards without losing a Test match series. Fantastic team at the time. Obviously, maybe not quite at their peak anymore. The Winter Olympics was held in Lake Placid. Was that
the one Olympic Games where there were no, naughty stuff going on with the athletes behind the scenes?
I mean,
was it Lake Placid?
Oh, of course, yeah. Sorry, yes. Well, yeah, they managed to hold it on the frozen lake, so it's fine. Yeah. I think one person got 5. I don't think I put this. Yeah, one person got 5 gold medals in speed skating, which I thought was very good. Although it's a bit easy, everyone else fell over, I think, so it was all right to go through and get the medals. Nottingham Forest won the Champions League, managed by Brian Clough, I think.
Was it second time in a row?
Second time in a row, yeah. Yeah, I think there was a sequence of. You've turned the music off because I can't talk over it properly.
No, it's fine.
There was a sequence of, I think, 5 or 6 English winners on the trot. Aston Villa won it, I think, in 1980.
Champions League.
Did
they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, neither did I.
Sure, it wasn't like the UEFA Cup version or whatever it were.
No, it's Champions League.
Okay.
Never
knew that.
Yeah, I think 83, 84, something like that.
Okay.
Bit of a period of English dominance, which led to. Well, to be fair, I mean, you wouldn't really have thought Nottingham Forest wouldn't.
Scotland as well. Aberdeen. Oh, that was that UEFA one.
Oh, it might have been. Yeah, I think Celtic definitely won the Champions League one year. I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. We've drifted off a little bit there.
Yeah.
Talking about 1980. Obviously, Brian Clough has got a road named after him in Derby.
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
Between Derby to Nottingham, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's not as good as Derek Dooley Way, though, is it?
Oh no, absolutely not. Do you know which other famous person has got a road named after him in Derby? I think we've had this question before, so I didn't want to ask it again. It's not really a sport question. Which famous fictional character has a road named after him? Lara Croft.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, the people who developed the Lara Croft worked for a games animation company based in Derby, and therefore she's one of the most famous people to come out of Derby, even though she doesn't actually exist. And as a result, there is a road called Lara Croft Way in Derby, towards the centre of towards the city centre. I
tried to look it up on Google Maps, but it was pixelated.
Hey. And in the boxing, Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard had the no mass fights.
What's that?
It was, I think. Well, you've taken his name off the screen. Roberto Duran had to quit mid-fight, and he said no mass, which means no more.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
So that's where it was. I don't know. Sugar Ray Leonard thought it was. I think he sort of said it was terrible that his opponents sort of quit as opposed to getting knocked out, and I think he took even more of a moral victory from that. which kind of leads me on to the questions I've got.
Yep.
Why did Roberto Duran quit his fight in 1980 against Sugar Ray Leonard? What was it? What was the reason that he actually gave afterwards? He said it wasn't. It was getting smashed up by Sugar Ray Leonard. It was something else. Was it he had ringing in his ears, or that he had stomach cramps?
I'm going to say stomach cramps because he wouldn't want to say ringing in his ears because that could have been blamed on
the bell.
On the punches he was taking from Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, you're right. He did say he got stomach cramps, and as a result, that was why he had to quit the fight. I think Sugar Ray Leonard said, "You're talking a lot of rubbish."
Mm-hmm.
I think he said you've had too much sugar. He said I'll just beat him hands down, and he kind of like ran off scared, kind of thing. And then the next up one is, why did Rosie Ruiz become a household name in 1980? Is it she won the women's 1,500 meter freestyle, but it turned out she was a man? Or is it she won the Boston Marathon, but it turns out she cheated?
Oh, I don't know if I've heard this before, but maybe not. I've heard something about athletes competing, then it obviously turning out to be a different gender.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, I mean, let's not even get into 2023 and 24 and how complex all that's going to be. But anyway, back then, obviously, this was more, of a thing. But would it be 1980? I think it's happened that before. I don't think it was 1980. I think someone going to get the first one wrong, but I think it was the cheating in the Boston Marathon.
And you would be correct.
Oh,
well done.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently she just cheated.
Just took a shortcut.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of people said, well, basically the person who came second thought they'd won, and they said, no, that person finished before you. Like they ran the third fastest time in history, and she broke her own personal best by about 20 minutes or whatever it were, and people saw her literally run out of the crowd onto the
with the stuff on.
Oh yeah, with all running.
She did a John Terry.
Yes,
to mention him again. That's what she basically did. Yeah.
And I'm trying to think what else. I think they basically did some tests on her afterwards, and it transpired that she wasn't really that good a runner. So I think if you're not that we'd know, but if you're kind of a super fit professional athlete, you kind of have like a resting heart rate of probably about sort of
30.
50 maybe, something like that. I think it's you've got a bigger heart, pump more blood around your body. You've got really low resting heart rate. I think when they tested her resting heart rate was about 70 kind of thing. So it was sort of, there was, and she got not sort of like a load of lean muscle around her calves and all that sort of stuff. And, so she didn't quite fit the bill as having the fitness of a super fit athlete.
Very good.
I believe she denied it, but I believe it was suggested much later on. She actually admitted it, albeit sort of 20, 30, 40 years down the line. But we haven't got there yet because we're in 1980. So
of course we are, yeah.
So that's what happened in sports.
Nice one. Good stuff. Let's move on. Okay, so we're now on to science and technology. In 1980. So, Pac-Man was first released by Namco. You played Pac-Man before, surely?
Yeah, I particularly liked it when it was on Google Maps. Remember that time?
Oh, yeah.
Google Maps?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Any road you got on, they put Pac-Man things on, you could play on it.
Yeah, and so you go and eat ghosts and stuff like that, don't you? Yeah. Smallpox global eradication was finally confirmed by World Health Organization.
All right, I was going to say, thank God we got rid of various pandemics.
Exactly.
I think smallpox probably isn't a pandemic, more of an infection.
Was it did they call that an epidemic?
I don't think it'd be that. It was just an infectious disease of some form. But
has it kind of returned a couple of times since then?
Oh, no, it's been eradicated according to the WHO.
No, but I thought after that, you can still come back, can't it? Things can still come back. That just means there's no cases of it, doesn't it really? But
yeah, I mean, it should have if it's officially eradicated, you assume that every single person in the world has got it.
Because measles is like a thing, isn't it, again? So
apparently that's becoming, if we were in the year 2024, which we're not, that would be becoming more kind of more popular. There's more cases of it. I heard on the news earlier on.
Next, first 24-hour news channel, CNN, began broadcasting.
Yeah.
Obviously, that there's a lot of 24-hour news channels now, aren't there? So
yeah. Do you ever watch it, 24-hour news?
I think I have. When things have been going off, I think everybody watches it. Well, not say everybody. Everybody who's like me and you, maybe a bit sad, probably watches it when it's election time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch much news at all. I keep up to date with the news. I read it. I'll go on. I particularly like look at stuff on Twitter, which I know is not particularly.
I hope people aren't relying on us for their news intake.
Oh yeah, I would really hope that that's not the case.
Are you ready for some questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Science technology from the year 1980. Which of these things was not first released in 1980? The Sony Walkman, Post-it notes, or the floppy disk?
So not
released in 1980.
Floppy. I mean, do you know how much stuff you could store on a floppy disk at a time? So was it 1.44 megabytes? Which is very little. And that said, they used to be massive as well, didn't they?
Well, that used to think you could get a lot on a floppy disk, didn't you, at the time?
Yeah,
because you things that you had weren't, we didn't have video files and pictures and stuff. We just literally had documents, didn't we? And that was it.
Yeah.
So
you did. You did your. I'm not even sure whether Word existed. You had your. No, but
there was a thing on the top to stop people recording over it, weren't there? Like saving over it or something. Was there? Or am I thinking of something
I think
else?
You could do that. I think you could lock it in place to make sure that it couldn't.
Nobody else could save things to it. And,
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a very secure method of.
Yeah.
Oh, no one's getting around that.
I once worked with your uncle a number of years ago.
Was using floppy disks then?
Yeah, they stored stuff on floppy disks. That was the way of backing stuff up on little floppy disks. It was the. I mean, one thing it has given us floppy disks.
What?
The save icon.
Yes.
Save thing. You look at the floppy disk. That's
very
universal
true.
Standard for saving something.
It's everywhere, isn't it? Yeah.
I wonder if you go and tell your daughter Ada, is she what, 6?
Yeah, yeah. What is that symbol? She'll probably know it's save, but why is it that?
Yeah.
She won't have a clue.
She will. These children, not growing up, not knowing what a floppy disk is.
No.
But can you remember the bigger floppy disks?
No.
Yeah, it used to be quite a bit bigger. I mean, I remember when we were at school, we had these like those. Do you remember BBC computers with the black and red keyboards?
I thought they were not Apple. They were Acorn ones, weren't they?
We had the Acorn ones, and obviously from those grew bigger PCs, if you remember.
Right.
As is the. But the BBC ones had I think black and red keyboards.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I seem to remember like playing like a Space Invaders type thing on that, and spent ages doing some coding to build a rocket that went, and that was it. So could the floppy disk be invented in 1980? Sony Walkman. Again, that was high technology at the time, wasn't it? Was the CD? Walkman, I presume, was a tape player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're talking about when it was released.
Yeah.
Not necessarily invented, obviously.
I know, but as I say, I would associate a Walkman as being a personal CD player.
It was a cassette.
It would have been a cassette at the time, yes, because I think obviously CDs came out after cassettes. Again, can you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted, you could. Maybe you used to tape things off the radio.
The tapes, CDs never really worked like that. I mean, they were like Walkmans were great because you could take them with you and listen to music, and that were fine. But CDs, they were good. They were obviously better in terms of, getting more on them and probably I don't know, however they work, but like they weren't really very good as actual portable listening devices because they were quite big.
Yeah.
And also they skipped quite easily. I remember CJ used to bring one to school. I remember our friend CJ.
Yeah.
And I know he used to have his CD Walkman underneath in his coat, one of those coats with a big pocket at the front. So he used to give it a quick tap when he walked past, make his CD skip.
Yeah. When you weren't ruining people's science experiments, you were damaging. You were making their CD skip.
Well, years before that, he had a full vinyl record player in his coat as well. Or even worse, he got that pin stuck in him loads of times.
Used to walk around with a gramophone. Remember? But yeah, it's again.
Sony Walkman,
or
Post-it notes, or floppy disk. It's a reminder.
Post-it notes.
You use Post-it notes still?
Not very often. Occasionally, but yeah, I don't. I've got some on my desk at work, but not many.
What colour?
Going. I've got a multicolored stack.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
By itself, do you use them? Or?
I use them to write. I don't write much for work purposes now, but I do write little notes for Ada in a lunchbox. She goes to school.
Right. What's it say?
You're just silly things, like draw a cock or something like that. No, I don't do that, obviously.
Lines have a chocolate bar again. Enjoy school. But yeah, that's very nice of you. Just you send the motivational messages.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just write silly stuff, really.
Yeah. Please stick this to the teacher when she's not looking.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I write my phone number on it and say, give that to your teacher.
Yeah.
It's a bloke.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
So I'm going to say, what wasn't invented? I'm going to say the Sony Walkman. Sorry, it wasn't released then. I'm going to say Sony Walkman.
You're saying Walkman. You would be continuing your fine form, Fisher.
Oh, man.
You're wrong. It was the floppy disk. So they had been out before. I mean, various forms of them came out, but yeah, the floppy disk was invented well before that, really. So,
Yeah.
and you're right about the Walkman. It wasn't long after the release of the Walkman that CDs then in the 80s became a thing. But the CDs didn't really kick in until kind of like the 90s, really, when people actually had them at home and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember a lot of stuff, but I remember when I first got a CD player, a big thing, and they still sold tapes.
Yeah.
In fact, the first music I ever bought was on tape.
Yeah.
Can you remember the first single you ever bought?
I can't remember buying it, but I remember getting like compilation tapes and then CDs. I remember getting, in fact, I do remember the first one I ever bought.
Go on.
Pretty embarrassing.
Do you want to say what it was?
Bob the Blooming Builder.
What? That was like 2000.
Yeah, that's the first one I bought with my own money.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, what about kind of like getting one as a present or something like that?
I think it was just like a compilation hit, and it had like, it was a CD, and it had like songs like No Doubt, Don't Speak, Robbie Williams, Life Through a Lens.
Yeah.
Oh no, all Before I Die. Yeah. Sorry. It had things like that. Born Slippy, I think Born Slippy might have been on it as well, possibly. Maybe, but yeah. No, there we go.
Depending on what year we go back to, I mean, this might become a question in future years, perhaps, as to what my first CD was. I'll tell you because it's probably something you wouldn't expect. But I'll leave that one there.
You're gonna leave it?
Yeah, leave it.
All right, okay. Well, that were your questions anyway. Oh no, there's another one. There's another one. So in 1980, what did multiple? This is not really science or technology based, but I thought it might link to science and technology because it's education.
Yep.
So we're going to category for that. 1980, what did multiple female students at Southern California universities complain of? A, someone was secretly painting their toenails as they were studying in the library. Or B, that bras had been banned by the governing principle of the network of universities.
Well, I think they were trying to ban people from wearing bras, but there wasn't much support for it.
Hey.
So... How would people paint the toenails and not notice? Banning. I'm not quite sure who banned the bras. I think he went and did an interview on the television talking about it. What's his name? Principal Trump, I think, was the person in charge, if you remember. I think what again. It may amaze you, but I don't know that much about the bra and when it was first invented and when it became popular, when people disliked it.
It's a wonder, isn't it?
Yeah. As where toenail painting's been around, obviously you think it would be a more... I kind of associate kind of burning bras and sort of that sort of stuff with more of a 70s thing. I don't know why. I kind of think of the flower power and hippie movement. Do they like to burn bras? Feminism, was that more of a 70s? I mean, obviously it's still very much alive and well now, but I think I associate it more with 70s and 80s. So I think so. Why would someone be going and paint? You just have to be very absent-minded to not notice. How would you not notice someone painting your toenails? Is what I would like to know.
Especially when they take your socks off and your shoes off to do it.
Well, yeah, I'm assuming they were barefoot.
They're wearing sandals, but you could probably put that into chat and have a check if you want to.
Yeah, did it come up? Yeah, I'm gonna say someone was painting their. Was someone painting their toenails?
You're really gonna go for that?
Well, yeah, I've got.
Bear in mind, you've got nothing right today, I don't think, have you?
Well, that's the thing, though. Going with something that's less logical might save me.
Have you not got one question right yet?
No, but I'm not going to be convinced by you to change my mind.
Well done. Yes. They got the nickname Leonardo da Vinci. Absolutely mad. Like, yeah. So they never knew who it was, but apparently in the library, someone who was secretly painting ladies' toenails or the students' toenails. So there you go. I've been
again. I don't want to get back too much towards the present day, but I've been watching that program Traitors, but I haven't watched the second series. I'm still watching the first series because
it's the best. I think it is the best reality TV show I've ever seen. I don't like watching reality TV. I just go against it, but I put myself through it. I watch it. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'm on second season, so I won't say anything. I haven't watched the first season, so
have you not?
You won't say anything. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll not say anything. But yeah.
But I'm going to say something.
But
right.
What I would say is, wouldn't it be great if there weren't actually any traitors?
They just did turnout painting.
Well, no, they just kind of got. I mean, you listen to them and they're kind of debating it. Say, I think it must be that person because that and that and that, and it's. Oh, I want to do that, but people expect, and it's obviously very different. It must be a mind-bendingly difficult game to do. I mean, again, you've got to. There's one person sort of saying, "Well, I'm trying to befriend people and get rid of them," but then
it's got a shelf life. It's got a shelf life on it. I think it's only maybe got a season left after the current one because it's going to be one of those games that remember Golden Balls, and it's a different show, but Golden Balls. Once people suss that out and how to speak to the other person. It became pretty pointless. It was a great game, right? At the end, swap or steal and all that.
Yeah.
But once people have kind of got this tactic of, right, I'm going to have this approach, you'll get nothing if you don't do, it just kind of ruined the game. And I think the similar sort of thing is going to happen with traitors. I think they're going to, it's going to become, people are going to become too good at it, and it's not going to be a very good game. But anyway. Yeah,
I'll say it'd be interesting to see what happens. I don't know. I don't know whether it happens, but it must be very easy to ruin the game for the traitor to make a mistake.
It must have happened as well. I bet there's a lot of editorial involvement.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Well, I just want to tell you what happens in the end of the series now. So again, I just would love it if they didn't have any traitors in there and kind of got to the end and it turned out there wasn't any at all. So yeah, there we go.
Carry on. Talk over.
No, I just like the fact that everyone just sort of says, "I'm not a traitor, 100%."
Yeah.
That's sort of it. Yeah. If I was on there, I would be saying, "I'm not a traitor, 110%."
So Fisher, did you know the Rubik's Cube went on sale globally in 1980? It was released a few years earlier. UK being one of the first countries to have it, but then it kind of went international in 1980.
Okay.
So you're going to go and try and complete this Rubik's Cube because it's taken you a couple of episodes to do so.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know where my actual Rubik's Cube is, so I suspect I'm gonna have to buy another one from Amazon, and then I'm gonna have to actually remember how to properly complete it.
And the last thing we're going to do is we are going to go and have a game on Atari. Atari was kind of an 80s thing, not necessarily just released in 1980, but it was the kind of the game, the console everyone had back then. And obviously Pac-Man was a game you could play on the Atari, I think, as well. So, yeah.
I don't know whether it's right, but I associate with Atari that kind of game where you're playing the table tennis type thing with two blocks moving
Pong
up and down.
And ping. The ping or pong.
Oh, don't have one could be ping, one could be pong.
Could be ping pong.
Or whiff waff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I associate with it. I don't know if that's what you associate it with it as well.
That's right.
That was the height of fashion. What computer did you have as a young lad?
Atari was my first one. Then I went on to Sega Mega Drive, PlayStation. Got to PlayStation 2, I think, and then a bit too. I didn't play games after that really.
Yeah, started podcasting.
Growing up.
Yeah.
Some people still. I'd like to still play games if I had time. But anyway, good episode. We've enjoyed 1980. I'm hoping we're getting more modern and more recent years. I quite liked playing Which Twit Tweeted It. I'd like to play that game again. That was a good game.
When do you think our Twitter heyday was? I mean, we're probably talking. I think I joined Twitter 2009, 2010. And I think I was probably hitting Twitter pretty hard until maybe for a good sort of 3 or 4 years after that. So I think there'll be a good few years in it.
You've got the numbers you've got number. What have you got? You've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10 to choose from.
Okay.
So you choose one of those numbers because that's where we're going to go next.
Let's go for number 2.
Number 2. Are you ready? Here we go.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's travel back in time. Oh, 1991.
1991.
Well, it's a bit better, isn't it? We're working back up to more modern day.
Well, at least we were alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't even remember much, but we were both. I think we're both in our preschool years then.
Yeah.
So
we're going to 1991 next. So hopefully it'll only be a few weeks' time. It wasn't that long ago since the last one. We're getting a bit more regular again, aren't we? So
yep.
We're going to 1991 next time, and I suppose that might have been. There's probably a lot going on in sort of like, I don't know, royalty and stuff like that was always in the news in the 90s, weren't they? And
What year was the Annus Horribilis for the Queen? Is that 91?
no idea.
Dunno.
But anyway, we will investigate, and we'll come back in our time machine to 1991 next time.
Yeah, well, we're going to go back to present day first, I think, aren't we? And then we'll look at the news stories there, and then head back to 1991. But
There we go.
thank you very much, Jimbo. It's been a good episode. We've enjoyed it. If you want to follow us, you can do at Wasted Web Space. We'd like to troll people where we can on X, formerly known as Twitter. Have we tweeted much recently? I can't remember.
We'll do it more, and we will Instagram maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll try. And also there's the Facebook page, and Jimbo Studios is now no longer the old Jimbo Studios channel. Is now Waste of Web Space.
Yeah,
because most of our stuff's on there. So
yeah, so we've got. I can now partly take credit for some of your old media studies projects.
You really wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
You can also you might want to put space between you and some of the content that's on there maybe.
Did you once do a video of some penguins drumming to the Arctic Monkey song Brainstorm, didn't you?
I did, and then just saying, so many years later, Pete McKee drew a picture of some Arctic monkeys looking like penguins. Yeah. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
Standing on the shoulder of giants, clearly.
Right.
Very good. See you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See you soon. Out.